What if everything you've been told about aging is wrong? What if the so-called midlife crisis isn't a collapse at all, but a calling? What if life isn't winding down? It's actually waking up. Carl Gustav Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, once said, "Life really begins at 40. Until then, you're just doing research." It's a bold statement, one that challenges the modern view of success, aging, and purpose. But Jung wasn't just being poetic. He believed the first half of life, though full of effort and growth, is really just preparation. The real transformation begins when we start living in alignment with who we truly are. In this video, we'll explore what Jung really meant, and why the second half of life might be the most important stage of your psychological and spiritual journey. We'll look at how the first half of life lays the groundwork, why midlife can feel unsettling, how that discomfort can signal the beginning of a deeper process Jung called individuation, and how modern psychology and neuroscience confirm much of Jung's insight, showing why many people find greater clarity, freedom, and fulfillment after 40, not in spite of aging but because of it. The first half of life, building the persona. In Jung's view, our early decades are spent constructing the self we present to the world, what he called the persona. It's a kind of mask shaped by cultural expectations, family values, and our drive for acceptance. In our 20s and 30s, we focus on doing, building careers, forming relationships, creating stability, and gaining recognition. This phase is essential. It equips us with skills and a working identity to navigate society. But the persona is only part of who we are. Over time, we begin to sense its limits. The life we've carefully built can start to feel disconnected from something deeper within. The midlife turning point. As we approach midlife, a quiet shift begins. The external goals that once fueled us, success, ambition, approval, start to lose their grip. We may begin to question our choices, not because they've failed, but because they no longer feel alive. This can bring subtle dissatisfaction, even in an otherwise good life. Mainstream culture often calls this a crisis. But Jung saw it differently, not as a breakdown, but as the opening to a new stage of growth. This is the beginning of individuation, the process of turning inward, letting go of scripts written by others, and discovering who we truly are. Individuation, becoming whole. Individuation is not self-improvement. It's not about becoming better, it's about becoming whole. It means embracing all aspects of the self, even the parts we've ignored, rejected, or hidden away. Central to this process is what Jung called the shadow, the unconscious side of our personality that holds traits we fear or deny. The shadow isn't always negative. It can contain creativity, emotional truth, and untapped potential, but meeting it requires courage. As we integrate these parts of ourselves, we shift from living for social approval or ambition to living from inner alignment. The question becomes not, what should I be, but who am I really? Science catches up to Jung. Modern research supports Jung's intuition. Studies show that as we age, our brains become better at regulating emotions. We're less reactive, more reflective, and better equipped to face life's challenges with clarity. A 2010 study in PNAS found that life satisfaction follows a U-shaped curve. It dips in midlife, but rises steadily afterward, often peaking later in life. This shift happens because people begin to value inner meaning over external validation. Psychologists like Brené Brown describe midlife not as a breakdown, but as a reckoning. A time when old illusions fall away, leaving space to rebuild from truth. Viktor Frankl, psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, argued that our deepest drive is the will to meaning, and Jung believed this drive comes fully alive in life's second half. Living from the inside out. In Jung's vision, midlife is not decline, it's an opening. For the first time, we have the chance to stop performing and start living. We're not trying to become someone, we're uncovering who we've been all along. This often means letting go of relationships that no longer nourish us, goals that no longer inspire us, and versions of ourselves we've outgrown. It can feel like loss, but it's really a path to depth, clarity, and peace. Abraham Maslow called this self-actualization, the full expression of our potential. Jung saw it as even more than that, a soulful spiritual integration of the whole self, light and shadow alike. Research consistently finds that people in their 40s, 50s, and beyond report higher satisfaction, richer relationships, and greater emotional depth, because they are finally living according to their own values. Carl Jung didn't fear aging. He understood its purpose. By 40, we may not have all the answers,
but we finally begin asking the right questions. And that changes everything. Midlife is not the end of the road. It's the doorway to your most authentic life. If you're here now, you're not late. You're right on time.